Racing, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour brings race number 7 of the schedule here to Lancaster Motorplex in Western New York for tonight's running of the New Way Auto Parts 150. The championship point battle couldn't be any closer than what it is. Justin Bonsignor has a 1-point advantage as he drives for his 5th championship. Right behind him is Austin Beers, winner of 2 of the last 3 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour races here at Lancaster. But what about third place in championship points? Only 8 markers back is Craig Lutz. Got his big win at the North Wilkesboro Speedway to catapult his championship dreams. In the 4th spot in championship points, only 11 back, is one of the young guns, Stephen Kopsik. He's looking for his first tour win. He's looking for it tonight. Luke Baldwin is ready to go racing. Part of the famed Baldwin Modified Racing family, son of Tommy Baldwin Jr., sits 5th in championship points. He feels like this could be his night. So it's time now to get on your feet, wave your hats as we bring the heat at Lancaster Motorplex. The New Way Auto Parts 150 is live on Flow, and it's next.
There's nothing like it. You can hear the roar of the motors. You'll feel the ground shake beneath your feet. It's what modifieds are all about.
Cars, roar to life, we're underway. So much on the line for this one today.
Trying to do the crossover.
Right to the bottom.
Nice move.
Angle again on the front stretch. Looks to the inside. Oh, he throws the block.
Here comes Bonsignor.
He drives away. He will take the checkered flag. They are trying to make this track wide. To the tap to the bumper. Oh,
He's going to win one.
This is what it all comes down to.
Here they come at the stripe. It's going to be a drag race.
Down to the line. Welcome to Flow Racing's coverage of the New Way Auto Parts 150 here at Lancaster Motorsports Plex. Good evening. I'm Andy Austin along with Alex Hayden, and this is the stretch of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event or season that could change the entire complexion of the year. 3 races in 8 days. There's the race here tonight in Lancaster, New York, which you can see the racetrack opened in 1959, a half-mile oval right here on the outskirts of Buffalo, New York. Lancaster Motorplex hosting the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour for the 4th year in a row.
It's a spectacular venue, as you see on your screen. The front stretch is actually a drag strip. It's Nitro to NASCAR weekend here at Lancaster. Last night, top fuel dragsters raced at 222 miles an hour in an 1/8 of a mile. Well, tonight, 150 laps, 75 miles in the New Way Auto Parts 150. You see the tire allotment. That is something that will come into play, as this track is an old, worn-in surface that likes to chew up Hoosier racing tires.
You can see on your screen, if you're watching on Flow Racing, the track is shining on the front stretch with that 1/8 mile strip of asphalt. 2 strips of asphalt, which are certainly going to add a lot of grip in the key of getting off turn number 4 and rocketing down the front straightaway into a corner that barely has any banking. You have to literally send it into the corner and hope for the best, and many times doing it side by side. We have 150 laps of action here tonight, and ladies and gentlemen, here is your starting lineup. Starting position number 20 in the Lakeland Avenue Landscape Supply, sponsored number 26. This is Gary McDonald. To the inside in the USNE Power 82 services, sponsored right out of Thompson, Connecticut, John Michael Chanette.
Starting tonight in the number 18 position, driving car number 18 from Calverton, New York, and the Robert Polifron-owned race car, the Bowie One Seafood Market in Rest Fury, it's Ken Hagee. Starting in position number 17, driving car number 59, a 19-year-old from Griswold, Connecticut, the Pro Systems B&P Machine Chevrolet, Tyler Berry.
They brought 5 race cars here this weekend, and 3 of them will be in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event here tonight. Car number 84 is one of them out of Ontario, New York, the Catalano Motorsports ride of Tyler Catalano. To his inside, one of the big local heroes. You just saw him on the racetrack in another modified division. Now on your screen on Flow Racing and live in front of you, the Zamco Homes Paint Right East Eden Tavern sponsored ride for George Scora III in his Whelen Modified Tour debut.
Starting in position number 14, 26-year-old out of Wolcott, Connecticut, driving the Gary Putnam-owned Curb Records entry, Mike Christopher Jr. Starting in position number 13 from South Bend, Indiana, the 47-year-old driving the Mystic Missile for Tim Connolly Racing. For the first time at Lancaster Motorplex, it's the Rocket, Ryan Newman.
A pair of Lutzes in row number 6 to the outside. Starting position number 12, the Advantage Trucking Washtronics sponsored ride out of Hamburg, New York. This is Jake Lutz. And to the inside, already a winner this year in number 3 in the point standings, the Riverhead Building Supply sponsored ride out of Miller Place, New York. This is Craig Lutz.
Starting in position number 10, driving the famed Old Blue, 28-year-old out of Oswego, New York, and the USNE Northeast Drilling Bowler entry, Tyler Ripkema. Starting next to Tyler, in position number 9, the two-time defending winner here of the New Way Auto Parts 150 from Northampton, Pennsylvania, the G&G Electrical Supply Dell Electric Car, Austin Beers.
One of the new stars to watch in 2025. He has 2 runner-up finishes in the last 3 races. The Newtown Pools Wannick Construction sponsored ride out of Newtown, Connecticut. Car number 21 is Stephen Kopsik. The USNE Power and Construction sponsored number 56 starts next. He is 1 year shy of his first NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour win. The anniversary of that for the driver out of Ontario, New York. This is Trevor Catalano.
Starting in position number 6 after qualifying earlier, the latest winner on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour from Bayshore, New York, in the MTT Chalou Performance Munz Auto Fury, Kyle Bonsignor. Starting next to Kyle is his cousin, driving the car number 51, starting in position number 5 from Holtzville, New York, in the Kenneth Massa Motorsports Phoenix Communications Fury. Welcome, Justin Bonsignor.
Position number 4 is his best qualifying event of the year, or qualifying effort of the year. The FX Capera sponsored number 54 out of Ontario, New York. This is Tommy Catalano. The next generation continues to shine in Baldwin's. 3rd generation driver starts position number 3. The Baldwin Automotive Ride out of Mooresville, North Carolina. This is Luke Baldwin.
Now time to meet the front row starters after qualifying earlier today. Rolling off from the 2nd spot, driving car number 1 from Orchard Park, New York, in the Fleetworks LFR, it's Patrick Emmerling. Winning the pole position earlier today in time trials from Northampton, Pennsylvania, a 10-time winner on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour in the PD Motorsports Troyer. It's big money, Matt Hirschman. Our pole winner, the Hoosier Tire pole winner, Matt Hirschman, as we welcome to the broadcast, Jesse Punch.
Down here with Matt Hirschman, starting on the pole tonight. Matt, you have plenty of modified wins here. Not a tour win, though. Does this car have what it takes to get it done here tonight?
It sure does. It's had it before, and we left one getaway a couple years ago here on pit road. And last year I was just a little off with some circumstances during the race. So if we can put it all together, there's no doubt in my mind we can win tonight. But it's going to be still a lot of work to do, and hopefully we can get it right and get the job done.
Best of luck tonight, Matt.
Thank you.
That's big money, Matt Hirschman. He has 7 U.S. Open wins here at Lancaster. Looking to get his first tour win here tonight.
He has led more laps than anyone else this year in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour as we continue to get ready for the New Way Auto Parts 150 here at Lancaster Motorplex. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to turn things trackside for the official invocation of tonight's event. This is from Racing with Jesus, Dan Pettingfield.
Which direction are you going to face?
How are you? That sounds good. Should I go?
Cue.
Okay. Would everybody please stand? Gentlemen, remove your hats. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us here to do what we love to do, Lord, and that's race. Lord, we just pray that you bless each one of these drivers as they're out there on the track. We pray that you would keep them safe and in your loving arms. Lord, be with each crew member, each official. And Lord, we just thank you for the fans. Lord, you've brought them here to have a great time. And Lord, each one of us are here, whether in the stands or in the pits, because of the freedoms that we have in this country. And we know that freedom isn't free. Many men and women have given their lives for us to be even here tonight. And Lord, we just pray that you would, Lord, just give us a great time, bring us all home safely this evening, and thank you for all you've done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriots love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true Lord strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And 6 different winners within those 6 races. Will we see a 7th tonight? all eyes are on Austin Beers. Austin Beers starting deeper in the field than he started all year long.
The all-time NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour record for most consecutive different winners to start a season is 7. That was back in 1999. I got to tell you, I feel like tonight we can tie that record. There's any number of 10 to 13 different drivers in tonight's starting field that can easily win this race.
Think of the drivers who have not broken through to victory lane. Steven Kopsick, you have Austin Beers as well. Tyler Ripken has been very fast this year. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jake Lutz break through to victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send it down trackside for the command for the New Way Auto Parts 150 with representatives from New Way Auto Parts.
Lancaster Speedway fans, where would you rather be than right here, right now? Drivers, start your engines!
That's a 10. I love it. I love it when they're so excited to give command to these thousands of race fans who have turned out in person, the tens of thousands watching on Flow Racing here tonight. And Alex, we have one heck of a show with 20 of these NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour competitors ready to go for 150 laps.
150 laps, 75 miles. As far as the Hoosier tire rule goes for tonight's race, they've got 5 tires laying in the pit box that the teams can use at their disposal this evening. But by rule, you can only change 2 tires per pit stop. It's not uncommon if you're new to the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour to see teams just simply change both rear tires. So that's something a little bit different if you're new to Modified Tour racing that we could very well see tonight.
And hopefully we don't see the amount of caution flags that we saw last year. 12 for 59 laps. But that wasn't all on the competitors from last year. That had a lot to do with the weather situation, and multiple drivers will lobby with NASCAR officials after the event, saying the standing water really got in their way. I point to a guy like Kyle Bonsignor, who had an amazing run going, but was taken out, well, indirectly by the weather. And he's a driver really on a hot streak. Great qualifying effort for that car number 22. I would not be a bit surprised to see him actually be the first driver to be a repeat winner this year. 22 has some momentum on his side.
Get a good shot there of some of the top qualifiers as we get set to put these cars into their first of 4 pace and parade laps. You know, big money Matt Hirschman, when he gets track position, he's one of those types of guys. He's like a grizzly bear. When he grabs hold of things with these 2 poles in this race car in a race, he's going to hang on to that thing. He's going to be awfully difficult to beat tonight, given the fact that he's got the best seat in the house when the green flag goes in the air.
When this race was green early last year, he was the driver that everybody tried to keep out of the lead because they knew that once he got there, to your point, he was going to check out. He's such a rhythm driver. He's so methodical. He might be a man of few words, but he's a man of many thoughts, and they usually stay right inside his noggin.
Right on the screen, that is Austin Beers. Beers is one of the drivers that everybody feels like is the guy to beat here tonight. Austin Beers, a 2-time defending champion of this race here at Lancaster.
Now, while this wasn't his first win, it really is the place that has solidified him as a competitor in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. He has had a number of great highlights over the years, and we're about to see some of them on Flow Racing. Let's check out Austin Beers.
Turn number 3 for Austin Beers. He's got a healthy advantage now as he comes off turn number 4. And Austin Beers, for the 2nd time this season, wins in the Whelen Modified Tour.
He'll rumble off turn number 4, work his way back to the line. Austin Beers has done it. Back-to-back victories here at Lancaster.
Austin Beers, will he three-peat here tonight? And in that shot, you saw some fireworks and some pyro, and you saw some during the Star Spangled Banner as well. You know, that's all the product of Mike Myers and Speed Entertainment Enterprises. They've done a phenomenal job to really bring the showmanship to this race. And looking at Austin Beers now, just 22 years old and a 2-time defending champion.
And the 2 of his 3 career tour wins have come right here. So you know that there's going to be an extra pep in his step when he came through the gates earlier this afternoon. This is a track that he has adapted to very well. And what is it about a race car driver, Andy, when you get some success at a particular venue, it just breeds more success. And a lot of people talking in the garage earlier today, they said he's just got this place figured out.
There were two guys that really were smiling when they came into the pit area today. Actually, three. Well, no, let's add that. Let's go to five, because I was going to say Austin Beers, because he knows the road to victory lane goes through him. You have Kyle Bonsignor, who is just smiling like never, well, I'd say never before, but certainly not in the last 22 months, because he was able to break through. All of the Catalanos, because this is a really, like, it's a Catalano family reunion. They brought 5 race cars to the track here today between all of the different divisions. But yes, all about confidence for these guys.
Starting lineup, as we'll put that on the screen as we get just ever closer to putting the green flag back in the air. It's great to have Ryan Newman in the race tonight. You know, he's adapted to Lancaster Motorplex half-mile track quite well. First time he'd ever seen the place and turned laps on it was earlier this evening when they went out for their first practice session.
Ryan Newman has accomplished so much across NASCAR and many different racing disciplines, but he's still a student of the game. I was watching his final practice session, and he was the only driver still searching for different lanes or trying different lanes at one of the most crucial parts of the racetrack, and that was turn number 4. Talking to many of these drivers, they said the key to the success of your entire lap all revolves on what you do in turn number 4. It sets you up for the next 17 seconds.
Part of that is the fact that you come onto the drag strip, and that's where all that tacky PJ1 is for the drag racing that runs the entire 1/8 of a mile of the drag strip and the front straightaway. So when you come off the older asphalt, right where they're at right now, it's a little slick. You hit that dark patch, the back end of the car is going to grip the track. The bottom line for Ryan Newman and anybody else that's not at the front of the field, the preferred way around here is right on the bottom. But if you're going to pass somebody, you're going to have to go somewhere different. As they say in baseball, you got to hit them where they ain't.
And there will be passing. Lots of it here tonight with PJ1 thrown down in the corners. The track compound designed to promote side-by-side racing, and that will balance out what you see here on the front stretch. Lights are out on the pace car. And the New Way Auto Parts 150 here at Lancaster Motorplex. We talk about Austin Beers winning the last 2 events. The only other winner starts on the outside of the front row, and that is the driver of car number 1. On the outside of Matt Hirschman, coming to the green, the driver of car number 1 is Patrick Emmerling. Him and 19 other drivers get ready for the green flag, and we are underway from Sean Houlihan into turn number 1.
The break right at the bottom of the racetrack. Nobody with the distinct advantage. They hit the backstretch for the first time. Matt Hirschman and that black machine will now squeeze out in front. He'll grab the lead and lead lap number 1 of 150.
18 seconds into this race, and Matt Hirschman shows the way. The rest of the field breathes just a little bit tougher, knowing they have to get around him if they're going to win the New Way Auto Parts 150. Look at Steven Kopsick a little bit further on back. That's the battle for position number 8. He's the only driver to step out of line here early on. Car number 21 waits the move. Matter of fact, Tyler Ripkema, who for a while was the fastest in final practice, battling with Austin Beers. That's for position number 9.
That's a good race there. Further up on the leaderboard, the battle for third is now side by side. Luke Baldwin now beginning to get a challenge. Tommy Catalano looks to his inside. They're going to race wheel to wheel down the backstretch and head for turn number 3. Catalano will squeeze in front of Baldwin, give him the number 3 spot.
I'm so excited to watch Catalano. It doesn't matter which one it is, but especially Tommy Catalano. Tommy has had such a rough go of it in 2025. Had the wreck at New Smyrna, and then that dovetailed off of what happened later on in the year in 2024. They just haven't seemed to have been able to buy a break. But talking to Tommy most weeks, he's still as chipper, still as excited to be here, always has a smile on his face. He's a newlywed, and he said the biggest part of adapting to being a married man are the household chores. He's had a condo, he's lived in the family property, he's lived in apartments, but to have your own house, oh, the lawn needs to be mowed again? Yes, it does, Thomas.
That is part of becoming an adult and maturing, for better or for worse. And in this case, like most of us, it's for the better. So we watch good racing there. Kyle Bonsignor, the black and pink entry on the bottom of the racetrack. That's the preferred lane. Baldwin has been pushed to the outside lane, and right now he is just going to have to take his lumps. Everybody's lined up to his left elbow trying to get by.
Stephen Kopsick battled on the outside for a good couple of laps, but thought better about it. He's going to tuck down low and try to take advantage of Baldwin, but Baldwin shuts the door right in front of him, and they have the freight train as they work their way back down the front straightaway. You could see out of that shot that many of the drivers still searching for the proper line to get that bite off of turn number 4. It is like hitting the turbo booster. Now the Cousins battle going into turn number 3. It's Kyle Bonsignor, and you have to feel for Kyle at many times throughout the last few years with the way his cousin has dominated in this division. Kyle has some great numbers too, but his numbers weren't the numbers of Justin. So you, by default, are second fiddle to arguably the top dog in the division right now, and a lot of his success was overshadowed, and I think at times it got to the best of him when he would end up in race situations. They've always had a fast race car, and to have the monkey off their back 2 weeks ago to walk into the pits 10 feet tall and bulletproof, Kyle Bonsignor, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the race a few weeks back springboard him to a top 5 point standing when this is all said and done by Martinsville later on this year.
Not one person would argue with that. Boy, did you watch a pretty good tussle on the track right now. That's Luke Baldwin in the black and white 7NY. Stephen Kopsick was able to get by him. Baldwin has been dropping down the leaderboard like a sack of hammers. His car just not turning right now in the middle of the corner. He's finally been able to get it to the bottom, and even then, looks like the back end just doesn't want to grip the racetrack. Baldwin's got some handling issues here. He would be one I would venture to say wouldn't mind a quick caution flag so he can get to pit road and make an adjustment.
This race is relatively short. You mentioned it's only 75 miles, but 150 laps. But at a crucial point of the day where we have had the sun beating down on this 5/8 mile oval for a better part of the day. And for those who are watching on Flow and from the comfort of the air-conditioned couch or on their patio or whatever, you know, it's comfortable where you are. But it's been in the 90s here all day. But with the sun down and the track cooling down a little bit, I wonder if they've set the car up a little loose for it to come to him, say around lap number 100. Right now, Luke Baldwin's not, well, he's not concerned about lap 108. He's worried about the lap they're on right now, which is lap 15.
All of them led by pole winner Matt Hirschman. He's got about a 2-car length advantage as they race off into turn 3. However, second and third, that's Patrick Emmerling, Tommy Catalano. They're not letting him get away at all. They're staying right with big money Matt Hirschman as they continue to work and click off laps here in the early going of the New Way Auto Parts 150. The battle for fourth is beginning to tighten up. Just behind that lead trio, as you pick up the pink and black car, that is Kyle Bonsignor. The momentum is real. He's now beginning to climb the leaderboard. He's looking again to the inside of his cousin, Justin Bonsignor.
On your screen right now, little contact made between Stephen Kopsick and Luke Baldwin. Baldwin back on the charge. Meanwhile, we go back to the battle of the Bonsignors, 51 and 22, as they battle further on back in the pack. Actually, that is for position number 8 right now. Laps clicking off very quickly here
as they make their way up off of turn number 4 on the racetrack as they come back down the backstretch into turn 3. Here's Baldwin. He'll bonsai move down to the bottom of Kopsick, trying to pick up that position. Can't quite get there as of yet. Kopsick with the momentum. Baldwin is feisty. The couple of young guns going at it wheel to wheel off turn 2.
This is all about the future of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. You have 18-year-old Luke Baldwin, who has quickly risen through the ranks, driving that iconic number 7 that was made famous by his grandfather, Tiger Tom, who piloted his way to multiple wins in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, was a legend in the building years of this touring division, which celebrates its 40th year. The Whelen Modified Tour extremely strong this year. One of the drivers, trouble turn number 2, John Michael Chanette in car number 8, gets out of shape.
That'll put us under the caution flag for the first time. And it looked like Luke Baldwin's car was beginning to hook up there. The more green flag laps they were able to put on the circuit. So we were speculating perhaps he would like a caution to make some adjustments. Not so sure now. That car was beginning to roll towards the front.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you just, and Luke is learning patience too. You forget that he is a an 18-year-old who's out there still learning the ropes. Yes, he's raced on some big stages in his young career, including the one that you're witnessing here, but also in the Craftsman Truck Series and how that whole part of his career has come together. You got to understand, he's only been doing it for a few years. And we are watching the future of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour come alive. And we mention it as its 40th year. The Whelen Modified Tour started in 1985. And one of the key figures in the formation of the Modifieds was someone who is one of the all-time greats in modified racing, a 6-time NASCAR champion. He was a driver who had over 1,400 starts in a relatively short career. And we're talking about NASCAR Hall of Famer Jerry Cook, who's on hand with us here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be great. He'll be jumping in and joining us here on the broadcast in a few minutes, but it's great to see Jerry Cook. You know, he's been in the garage all day. You mentioned earlier about how hot and humid it's been here in western New York today. Didn't stop him. Nope. He was around talking to everybody he could talk to. They wanted to line up and talk with him, listen to stories. And, you know, it's like story time with Uncle Jerry, if you will. We were a part of that earlier today as well, when he wants to start talking and telling you things, because this is a track that Jerry Cook kind of cut his teeth on and racing and winning races here at Lancaster Motorplex. This track's in its 66th year, so Jerry Cook, his name is synonymous with success here.
You know, Jerry didn't start racing until 1963, but had a hand as a car owner before he was even a driver. So he was winning races as a car owner before he did it actually as a driver. And absolutely a treat to talk to him and his wife, Susan, any chance that we get. A driver who in 1998, on NASCAR's 50th anniversary, was named as one of the 50 greatest drivers in NASCAR. And when you think of NASCAR, obviously the casual fan's going to think of the Cup Series. They might think of formerly known as the Busch Series. But to be recognized as one of the 50 greatest drivers in NASCAR from the modified ranks, out of all the drivers who have taken the wheel, it was certainly an accomplishment. In 2016, he was voted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and 6-time champion joining us here in the booth. I've had so much fun talking with him pretty much the entire day off and on. We had some breakfast. We had some more merriment as well, and it's never out of your blood. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at some of the accomplishments of Jerry Cook.
On February 15, 1948, the first stock car race ever sanctioned was a modified race on the beaches of Daytona. It was won by Red Byron. Modifieds are still going strong today, more than 40 years later, thanks in great part to a man who dominated that form of racing for the greater part of a decade and is now at the helm of the NASCAR Winston Modified Tour. That man is Jerry Cook, 1989 inductee into the National Motorsport Press Association Hall of Fame. Only 4 drivers in the history of NASCAR have won more than 5 championships in one racing division. The 6 championships that were won by Jerry Cook in the modified division in 1971 and 72, then 4 straight years beginning in 1974, have earned him his place in the Hall of Fame.
As NASCAR celebrates its 40th anniversary, the 40th anniversary for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, it is our pleasure to bring in one of the men who was instrumental in actually bringing the tour together. 6-time champion, one of NASCAR's 50 best drivers of all time, and 2016 inductee to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jerry Cook.
Thank you. It's great to be back here.
Welcome to the broadcast. And we talk about how Whelen is celebrating its 40th anniversary. It wouldn't have had a first anniversary if it wasn't for you. Can you give us a little tease on how the tour came together?
Well, I'd retired from racing in 1982, and I could see that modified racing on a weekly level was starting to drop because it was too expensive weekly. And I went to Bill France and Jimmy France and asked them I'd like to start a modified tour. And they agreed with it. They backed us. We had sponsors. I did all the other scheduling and all of that. and that was 40 years ago.
Obviously back under the green flag in the New Way Auto Parts 150. Big Money Matt Hirschman right back in front of the field. Patrick Emmerling rides in the second spot. Knotted together, visiting with NASCAR Hall of Famer Jerry Cook is with us here on the broadcast. As you watch these cars get around this difficult racetrack, how much has this track changed over the years in your opinion?
Well, let's see. It started out as dirt, and I was here then. And when Eddie Sawacki paved the track, he come and picked me up from school. I was going to school at Erie County Tech, and brought me over to show me where he put the stakes. And we moved a few of them to make a little more room. And that's what we're looking at today, except for the change that includes the front straightaway.
So Jerry Cook is our guest here, six-time modified champion. And, you know, you have all of the driving victories, but you have some owner victories that were part of your career before you were a driver. What made you become a driver? What was the moment where you said, you know what, maybe I'm going to give myself a turn at this?
Well, Kenny Meal drove for me for 4 or 5 years, and we did pretty darn good. And but he, 1 year there, I had taken the car out to practice it and come back in. He said, you shouldn't run it so hard, which told me I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So then after that year, I decided that if I was going to fix it, I was going to drive it. And that's where it pretty well started.
So, and I think for perspective on the way that drivers raced in age back then, for you to call it quits at the age of 39 or 40 was almost unheard of. So you stopped racing in your prime to form the Modified Tour. We now go to New Smyrna. We've raced at Daytona. There's the race in Richmond. We're part of NASCAR All-Star Weekend at North Wilkesboro. Could you have ever dreamed that this series that you had a huge hand in starting could be where it is today?
No.
No.
I mean, there was naysayers that said it wouldn't last but a year, but we never gave up. I mean, we were going to make it work, and it appears we have 4 years later. But and it's been a lot of fun, too. So
when you see these young competitors that are out there wheeling these modifieds right now, you look at Justin Bonsignore, 4-time Whelen Modified Tour champion. What goes through your mind when you see some of these guys begin to close in on your championship number of 6?
Well, that's good. They're doing it on a tour that I started. I've got no bad feelings about it because it was a whole lot different when I was running. Every race counted. We ran 60, 70 races a year to count towards the points. Every NASCAR track that ran a modified race, the points accumulated. And now with the tour, we set the number of, whatever the race was on the schedule.
So the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. And for those who've been watching for a long time, it went through some very tough years in the opening. So for a brand new series, you had to overcome some major challenges with losing some of the top stars and some of the safety concerns. How did the series, under your guidance, make it through that time?
Well, we just worked through everything, but the safety stuff, I was working with NASCAR, and there was quite a group of us that were working on safety issues with cup cars and bush cars and all the rest of it. And I took and looked at what we were doing there to move it into modifieds, and there was some issues with some of the cars that needed to be changed. And of course, nobody wanted to change it, but I told them we're going to change it because I'm not going to any more funerals like this. And we made some changes in it, and because I know what a basal skull fracture is now too. So, but between the bars and the seats and the helmets and a lot of stuff, that this made it a whole lot safer.
So it's not necessarily what you did behind the wheel that might have gotten you the numbers and the statistics and essentially the Hall of Fame and one of NASCAR's 50th greatest drivers. But I would argue that Jerry Cook's greatest contributions to racing are what we're seeing on the racetrack today between safety and 40 years of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. An amazing life that you've lived, sir.
Well, when I started to work for NASCAR, I had no thoughts about the tour for 2 or 3 years, and that's when I started thinking about it. And in '85, I went to Bill and Jimmy France And that's what it took. From there, we were on. But the best part of it was the race teams were all with me. And I knew them all. I raced with them all. And that was a big help, you know, to make things happen for the tour in a hurry and make it right.
When you see the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, predominantly a Northeastern series, and still is, but now we're racing the tour cars in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, as part of Speed Weeks down in Daytona. We're racing at Richmond Raceway, and one of your favorite places. Arguably, you can change the name of Martinsville Speedway to Cook Speedway as well.
Well, Martinsville Speedway, for me, I used to call it my home track, and I was 650 miles from home.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I had a way to make that car roll the corner and be pointed down the straightaway, and I can't even tell you what it was. But it worked because we won a bunch of races there, and I got a bunch of grandfather clocks to show for it. So
yeah, and your family has grandfather clocks now, too, because you had so many cluttering your house.
Well, we had 6 of them. And the one race I didn't because they didn't give them for the short races. But no, we had 2. Each of our kids have one that we told them they could have when they owned their own place. And I gave 2 of them, 2 of the Hollebrands, Pete Hollebrand Jr. and Pete Hollebrand Sr. And that was all good.
When you think of great trophies, Lord Stanley's Cup for the National Hockey League, the Borg Warner Trophy for winning the Indianapolis 500, and the Ridgeway grandfather clock at the Martinsville Speedway, it's got to be in the same breath.
It does. To me, it's one of the most sought-after trophies in NASCAR racing.
Jerry Cook is our guest here in the booth tonight as we are about a third of the way through this event. 150 laps the distance. We're working lap number 52 right now. Looks like Matt Hirschman has continued to check out. And Matt is a bit of a throwback to the days, you know, Jerry, you mentioned going back and forth and racing multiple times a week and just chasing points. But you guys were also chasing money and going where the big money was at.
Well, back in those, we raced 5 days a week, steady every week. Now, one of them was up in Canada, and we called that house money. But with the NASCAR races, every race counted, and that's how you had to do it. You had to run them all.
And you did it with the best of them as a NASCAR Hall of Famer. Great to see the NASCAR Hall of Fame shirt. And yes, the ring is here. I bet that's something that rarely comes off the finger.
That's for sure. You know, you work so hard to win one, and you're pretty happy when you win one, but then to win 5 more, that's outstanding. So.
You know, we look at your career stats, and there are over 1,000 starts, and that's just under NASCAR sanction, and over 300 wins. To think that he did all of that before the age of 39 absolutely blows my mind. And the fact that at the age of 40 you had already started to put together this idea for a touring series for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Some of the different highs and some of the different lows that we've talked about that. But, looking ahead to the future, when you have guys like Luke Baldwin, Steven Kopsick, and some of the younger guys, it really must invigorate you on the future and the health of this division overall.
Well, to see the young guys come on board, what I started to say when that last year or so I was racing, these guys, they're more than hungry. They're starving to death. And besides, I'd done all that probably earlier in life than most of the guys ever did. And it was just, I figured it was time,
Yep.
Jerry, we're watching good racing here in Lancaster. A long green flag run right now.
Yeah.
Starting to see cars slip and slide a bit on this old asphalt. What would you tell these drivers? How would you coach them on the radio if you could?
Hold on tight.
That's a star spotter right there. You get clear low, 3, 4, 5, whatever they say. But you get a guy like Justin Bonsignor, and Alex talked about this earlier, about just starting to really rack up the stats, and excellence isn't often appreciated in the moment. He's now chasing down Matt Hirschman to tie for Tony Hirschman for 5 championships, and then go after Doug Coby for 6. He's right there on the list, number 2 in all-time wins. He's just a treat, but it looks like he might be a little bit. Was he off the pace there for a second?
Well, yeah, he slipped a little bit in turn 3. It looks like Patrick Emmerling's been able to get a wheel beside him.
And Patrick has been running really well this year, too.
I talked to his crew chief a little bit this afternoon, and for a team and then Patrick Emmerling's crew chief, for a team that has had a nightmare June, I said, is this where you actually turn it around? And he said, turn what around? We've had a fast race car. Whenever we didn't have a DNF, we were a top 3 race car. So the idea, the mental focus of this team is that, things are going to happen when you're a race team. We had a lot of good luck on our side last year, and the ebb and flow of things, well, we're going to take our lumps early on, but I'd rather take these lumps early in the season and get back to our quote-unquote form by mid-season, this being the mid-season part. And I asked him, I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, where is this team now compared to where they were at this point last year? Because they were a brand new team in 2024. And he said, we're about 3 points higher than we were at that point. That's bad news for the rest of the field, because once they hit that surge, and this could be the surge because he won the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup last year as a result of winning at Monadnock Speedway, which is where we're going to be not once but twice next weekend. This could be a breakout night that Patrick Emmerling has that vaults him, I wouldn't say necessarily to the point lead, but back in the championship conversation. So they started the season off with a win at New Smyrna. One of their DNFs was when he was battling for second with Justin Bonsignor. So there's a race where he was right up in the mix of things. Could have easily picked up a second or third place finish, was regulated to 13th that day. That's a big point swing in a relatively short season of 16 races.
And he's the winner of the inaugural New Way Auto Parts 150 here at Lancaster. So he certainly knows his way around. We got a pretty good race here. Anywhere you look, you got a good race here.
That's true. And one other thing, when you have bad days, you have to look forward after that, not back. Looking back won't do you a bit of good. You got to look forward to make them improvements to make up for whatever you lost.
So what Hall of Famer Jerry Cook is saying, don't watch this race on delay if you have a bad one, race car drivers. But we got a little look at one of the new stars of this division, George Scorer III, who is making his Whelen Modified Tour debut. And I love the confidence in this man. He's doing double duty tonight. And you would think, Alex, on a night that is so important to him with a brand new race car, geez, guys, we got to focus on this race, this big 150-lap race that we've looked forward to all of our racing lives. Nope, he's doing double duty. Talked to him on pit road this afternoon, and usually when you start on a level of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, you think to yourself, okay, I just want to complete the laps, just want to earn the respect. No, this guy said, I want a top 10, I expect a top 10, and if I get a top 5, that'll be an all right, but I'm not going to be surprised. Yeah, he's not up there right now, but he's doing what a lot of rookies would call a successful night. He's running in 16th. That's higher than he started, I believe. And George Scorer III, a fan favorite, 16 wins here at Lancaster, 2-time defending track champion. He's having, I believe, a good night.
You got to have that kind of confidence when you strap inside of a race car. I would imagine, Jerry, every time you put a helmet on, grab 2 fistfuls of steering wheel, your expectation was going to win. We got trouble off turn number 4. One car goes looping around.
Lutz.
And it is Craig Lutz. So the North Wilkesboro Speedway winner puts us under the caution flag for the second time in tonight's race. A good run for Lutz here as he's running towards the back half of the top 10. That will go away with this caution flag.
Craig Lutz, who already won at North Wilkesboro earlier this year, having a season that I believe, if it were a little more consistent, he would be the point leader, and I think he would attest to that as well. Let's take a look at the replay on Flow Racing. If you're in live, or if you're watching live, you can watch the second screen experience here on Flow. As Scorer backs up just a little bit, here comes John Michael Chenette, and then he just goes around Craig Lutz in car number 46. They have had a ultra amount of speed over the last couple of years. And talking with his crew late last year, he said, you know, we just need to put together one race, and then we're going to knock off a bunch of them. They put together a win at North Wilkesboro, huge stage. And speaking of stage, got to ride the elevator and have that big moment. And having I mean, his best season statistically through the first 6 races, his best start to his career. 3rd place in the point standings, single digits from the point lead coming into tonight. He's got a long way to go if he wants to continue to keep that.
Well, and this has championship implications too. With as we close in on the halfway point of tonight's race, he came in 3rd in championship point standings, only 8 back. He's going to give up a ton of track position after this miscue. Spun all by himself up off of turn number 4. Now the big question mark is, will anybody come to pit road and make adjustments, change Hoosier tires? What will the strategy be here?
Well, let's take a look at those point standings. Bonsignor comes in with 238 points. Austin Beers just 1 point. That separation remains not necessarily there because we haven't done the points yet, but neither Justin or Austin Beers got the pole. They neither have led a lap, so no one has bonus points within the top 3. And a lot of people hit pit road. There's Emmerling on pit road. There's Kyle Bonsignor, and here is car number 60, Matt Hirschman.
So pit work is ongoing here.
Looks like there's a bit of a loose tire situation there. Hopefully they can catch that. Let's go down trackside to Jesse Punch.
Yeah, guys, the majority of the field making their way onto pit road. The 60, the first one off, just a quick 2 rear tires and getting him back on his way. I noticed the 51 of Justin Bonsignor had the same strategy right in front of him. Also worth noting, though, one car you haven't seen on pit road this stop would have been the 64 of Austin Beers taking tires. He took those much earlier in the race, came down during that first caution, just about 30 laps in. So a lot of different pit strategies as we get into the second half of this race here tonight.
And showing yet again that NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour Racing is indeed a team sport. Pit crews getting the job done down there, whatever the strategy they chose to employ on individual race cars. We'll find out how it pays off. Some, as Jesse reported, taking rear tires, some adjustments to the chassis as well.
And the jack going up on Matt Hirschman's car. Are they going to? I didn't really zero in on what they were chasing last time, but they're back on pit road trying to change those other tires, and I'm not sure if they're taking fuel. Didn't look like they did that.
Well, this will shuffle up the deck in the running order now. We know there's fast race cars and some hungry drivers to get out back towards the top of the leaderboard. I guess Hall of Famer Jerry Cook, anytime you get a chance to put brand new Hoosier tires on, you're going to take full advantage.
You know, one of the best pit crews out there is Matt Hirschman's crew, and with more on that, let's go down trackside to Jesse Punch.
This 60 crew was jumping up and down, celebrating, high-fiving each other after that second time down pit road this stop. The first time, they took 2 rights, brought him back down again, and took a left rear. So they are feeling good sending that 60 back out. Perfectly executed plan down here for this pit crew.
Well, just past the halfway point, 79 laps are complete in the New Way Auto Parts 150, 150 laps, 75 miles on this half-mile track of mayhem here. Just, 14 miles east of downtown Buffalo, New York, only 23 miles southeast of one of the great natural wonders on the planet in Niagara Falls. What a setting. And Jerry, boy, the race fans here in Western New York are absolutely tremendous. So we work our caution for the second time. This was for the Craig Lutz spin. First caution came out on lap number 22. John Michael Chanette spun over there off of turn number 2 to put us under the caution flag there. As we get the 1-to-go signal, we'll go green flag racing next time by. Kyle Bonsignor takes over the top spot. Austin Beers now, 2-time defending champion of the New Way Auto Parts 150. He'll go to the outside of the front row for this restart. Now, look now, Ryan Newman is up to the number 4 spot now in the Mystic Missile. He'll restart on the outside of the second row as we get set for the restart, about a half a lap away. Jerry, is there a preferred line here at this unique drag strip front stretch for a restart?
been a long time since I raced here, but it looks to me like the outside is pretty good if you can get the start.
We'll find out how that plays out. Outside is the white car of Austin Beers. Gets on the throttle, loses traction with the back end. That will give the advantage to the pink and black Kyle Bonsignor car off turn 2.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Kyle Bonsignor jumps into the lead. Excellent restart from car number 22. But hot on the pursuit now is Austin Beers. Steven Kopsik has come to play. And Alex, look who's in position number 4. Battling side by side with Mike Christopher. It's the Rocket Man.
Yeah, Ryan Newman is working the outside lane. Oh, car bounces off the outside wall off turn 2 in the backstretch. Keeps the point in the right direction. It was Catalano who did that. But, yeah, Ryan Newman. And how about this? He's working that outside lane. They did apply the PJ1 traction stickiness out there on that second lane. But it takes cars to run that to get it to really come in. And Newman's trying to do that. Yeah, might be losing a spot or two right now.
If you watch those white gloves, you can see him manhandling that wheel. If there's someone in this field that can manhandle, it's definitely Ryan Newman, who's having a very special night here at Lancaster. Not only is it his Lancaster debut in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, but his daughter Brooklyn started her very first race at Lancaster. So it was amazing to see Ryan Newman, who's long been the silent hero, the person who doesn't necessarily say much, and you never really know what he's thinking. But to see him in dad mode with her and some of those moments that they shared prior to the green flag, it was completely a different, another side of Ryan that, Alex, I know you have a lot of experience with Ryan. I don't think you've seen that side of him before.
Not for a long, long time. It's great to see that with Ryan Newman. It just kind of re-emphasizes, Jerry Cook, the family aspect of racing. There are drivers, doesn't matter if you're young, old, in between. Family continues to support every race team, and it truly is a family atmosphere.
And our family was involved in it. I was the only driver, but my wife was in it, my son, my granddaughter, and it goes on down the line, and they're all involved in racing. And all of them, I can name a few more that got involved because of working with me through the years that are now down south working on different teams.
Jerry, how long have you and Susan been married?
Oh, not very long, only 57 years.
Yeah, but your marriage had, it's one of the long-standing traditions or bonds in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour garage and throughout racing on the East Coast for a number of years. But racing had something to do with the fact that you guys got married in the time of year that you did it. Can you tell that story a little bit?
Yes, I met Sue at Utica Home Speedway before they'd ever let the ladies in the pits. And that's what started it off for us. And then when we were going to get married in January, I set the date in the office in the bank because I had to have the money to buy the house that had a garage to build the car for our new sponsor, which was Hollebrand. So I picked his calendar up and said January 20th next year.
Did she know about it?
No.
No.
First thing she said, that's not enough time. Well, the deal's off then,
Yeah.
Got trouble off turn number 2. Got a car spinning down to the grass, trying to get back on the circuit.
It's Luke Baldwin in car number 7. Second week in a row that he's had some issues. Second race in a row that he's had some issues. He was a little squirrely at White Mountain Motorsport Park a couple of weeks ago, and here at Lancaster, a driver who is still learning the ropes. I think, he had a lot of success right away, and sometimes when you have success right away, you have an expectation to perform that way all the time, but you lose track that he's a rookie and he's going to take his lumps here and there. And so his season isn't unlike a lot of other rookies. You think of some of the other people who are in Jerry's club of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, some drivers who had really rough rookie seasons, but a couple of years later they're out there and they're champions.
Yeah, that's just part of the learning curve and growing. And this is not the first time as we get another look here at what happened, as the replay will come up and find out exactly what happened with Luke Baldwin here on the spin. Okay, we're not going to get a look at that right now, but Luke Baldwin, the reason for caution number 3 here on this. But he came up here 2 weeks ago and ran a modified race here at Lancaster, knowing that the Whelen Modified Tour was going to be coming here in just 2 more weeks. So a lot of experience there for him to be able to do it. Kyle Bonsignor comes to pit lane. We'll reset the running order in just a moment.
We couldn't do it without Whelen. I don't believe we've ever taken a product off that was broken. It was we put the car out of service.
What price do you put on a life? We don't want to run the risk of causing loss of life through our response.
Whelen sells peace of mind. Their goal is to get home each and every evening. And if we play a small part in ensuring they get home safely each day, it's extremely gratifying.
Pit stops concluding down here. Jesse Punch, you were down there with a front row seat for some of these pit stops.
Yeah, guys, we saw the 22 of Don Senior, who was leading at the time of caution, came down, took a right front tire. We also saw the 7 of that Tommy Baldwin team, Luke Baldwin, coming down, and he also took a tire. Didn't look like there was much damage after that spin there on the backstretch. So headed back out to, as you guys mentioned, learn a little bit more in the last couple laps of this race.
Lights out on the pace car, and look who is in position number 1. The 2-time defending champion of this race on lap number 96. There was question if he could win, or at least challenge for the win by starting as deep in the field as he could. In the previous 3 races, no one has come from deeper than 5th. Austin Beers started in position number 9, and if you don't think that's a tall order, look at the drivers that he's competing against tonight. Pace car pulls onto pit road, and we are just over 50 laps away from concluding this one. Steven Kopsick to the outside. He's looking to be winner number 7. Green flag is in the air. He spins the tires, and we're racing.
Remember the last restart, Austin Beers was on the outside lane. He spun the tires. This time on the bottom of the racetrack, Austin Beers will rifle his way to the front of the leaders, and he'll take the field right up off turn number 4, leave everybody else to fight for scraps up off turn number 4.
If there is one driver who is stealth here tonight, it would be Justin Bonsignor. We haven't talked about him enough here tonight, but he's been in the top 5 for the balance of this event. And I love the speed that Ryan Newman is showing in the Mystic Missile number 4. Now, this is a car after contact with Steven Kopsick in turn 4. They scatter it back up, or they gather it back up. But Tim Connolly behind the wheel of this race car, one of the 40 best drivers in wheeling competition, made the wheeling 40 there. I think he was in class number 1. He had one of his best runs of the year last year, came away with a 13th or 11th place finish. He was up there in the top 15, which for this team, which honors Bob Gambarino and the entire Mystic Missile aura, he's given it one heck of a run tonight. But don't count out Kyle Bonsignor, who's right behind those drivers.
This is all from 5th on back. Steven Kopsick in that 21 car has the number 5 spot. They're stacking up behind him. There's some contact, and around goes Catalano. He's going to spin to the infield.
Tommy Catalano in car number 54, who qualified in position number 4. After contact, midway through turns number 1 and 2, goes around, brings out another caution, and after a couple of long green flag runs, the field bunched up, starting to see the aggression level turn up just a little bit.
Well, which means we're going to have another tight restart coming up. And, Jerry, I guess if you're not at the front of the field, you're going to have to get a little bit aggressive if you want to have a hope of standing in victory lane.
It's time to fight for it now.
And they were fighting.
Good finish.
And it looked like it was just a chain reaction accident. Catalano tried to break from getting into Kopsick, and just a racing incident off of turn number 2 with Ryan Newman involved as well. Everybody, to Jerry's point, it's time to go. How much did you hear about drivers today? They say they're going to ride for 3/4 of the event. How much riding was going on back in your day?
Well, not much, really.
Yeah. Not at all. Yeah.
You might not take a chance. You know, early to get by somebody, you might wait a while. And you wait a while to wear them down to make it easier to get by them.
Well, Catalano, he was the victim of circumstance there, and that chain reaction. Steven Kopsick just rolled out of the throttle just a little more than everyone anticipated. Kopsick battling a bit of an ill-handling car here in the late going of this race as we're getting down to it here. Andy, this one's going by in a bit of a hurry, but we see Kopsick now. Looks like he's going to bail off the racetrack and come to pit lane.
And this is a good time for him to do it, too. 50 laps is a long time here at this racetrack. So Steven Kopsick, they know this. Every single team knows exactly what they're doing. They had a plan coming into this race. And talking with Patrick Emmerling's crew earlier on, they mentioned strategy as a key point in this 150-lap race. They already had that factored in. They had their own strategy before the race even started. This might be playing right into Kopsick as well, as he is still building his book. He has never been to Lancaster. He has 2 second-place finishes in the last 3 races. And aside from a mishap a couple of weeks ago, he has been one of the lights-out competitors in 2025 as he's really come and risen to the occasion a number of times.
Well, so pit stops late in the going here. Good opportunity if you're still on the lead lap to try to put some fresh Hoosier tires on it. Again, they had 5 tires with which to work. Looks like Kopsick's going to come back in and perhaps change more tires. No, he's going to stay on the track and just get lined up in the right position where he needs to be for this upcoming restart, which we've just gotten the one-to-go signal. Green flag racing next time by.
And we'll see if the trend continues with struggles on the outside of the front row. Now, a driver that has a lot of experience on the outside is starting there. That would be Patrick Emmerling, who was so close to picking up a win last year. Matter of fact, this is a repeat of what we saw in 2024 with Austin Beers picking up the win barely. If this race were 155 laps, we might have seen a different winner. Patrick Emmerling was coming and coming in a hurry. Can he stick on the outside? Green flag is in the air and we're racing.
Outside lane does have grip with Emmerling this time, trying to keep a wheel alongside Austin Beers, but Beers gets the whole shot off turn number 2.
And here comes Justin Bonsignor filling in the hole in inches from the back bumper of Austin Beers and digging. He's got Matt Hirschman, and here comes Kyle Bonsignor as well.
What a race we've got here in the New Way Auto Parts 150 at Lancaster Motorplex. Austin Beers up front, leaving everybody else to try to figure out who's going to be second. Justin Bonsignor will squeeze down to the bottom of the racetrack, slide across the bow of Patrick Emmerling, give Bonsignor second.
One of these great camera angles is off turn number 4 on Flow Racing, and you'll see it this time. We mentioned Ryan Newman with the white gloves, Justin Bonsignor in the same, where you can look inside the cockpit and just see him sawing the wheel and still trying to search for a perfect line. If confidence is one thing in racing, momentum's another, and there's one driver who has both, and that is Kyle Bonsignor, who throws the number 22 down to the inside. He's going to get greedy. He almost gets 2 positions in that corner.
Hasn't quite gotten enough to get by the Patrick Emmerling car. Emmerling has gotten a bum's rush after restarting the outside of the front row, gave up a spot to Hirschman. Now he's just trying to play defense as Kyle Bonsignor is trying to slip by to driver's left.
He just may be the fastest car on the racetrack, car number 22, after taking his lumps and cashing in his bad luck chips for about a year and a half. He broke free, got the monkey off his back 2 weeks ago at White Mountain Motorsport Park. And something told me about the speed in that race car that they possessed all through all of the rough races. And even Kyle would say, the thing that keeps me coming back is the fact that we had speed. If the car stunk, if the team wasn't in it, I wouldn't be here. But they are. And they're inside the top 5. We might have a battle for the lead, this time off of turn number 4. Alex Hayden, look at those 2 white and green cars go at it.
It's Austin Beers at the front. 3 career wins on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. 2 of them have been here at Lancaster. Right behind him is Justin Bonsignor, second on the all-time NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour wins list. A 4-time champion trying to check Lancaster off of his list of tracks he's won at.
There are only 2 tracks actively on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour that Justin Bonsignor has not won at. This is one of them. Look at Catalano on the inside. There's another Catalano. That's Tyler Catalano on the inside. And then there's Trevor right behind. Everybody getting around Ryan Newman now. He has a huge Catalano problem in turn number 1. Ryan Newman losing some ground.
Newman pitted a little earlier than some of these other cars. His Hoosier tires a little bit more worn out than everybody else. And with this old surface here around Lancaster Motorplex, tire degradation is a true statement here, and Ryan Newman is paying the penalty for that.
So I wonder if the smartest person in the field is Matt Hirschman. We haven't heard much of Matt since his pit stops. We know he's got a fast race car. We know he can lead this race, but he has stayed about 5 or 6 car lengths off the back bumper of Justin Bonsignor. Not sure if that's what the car is going to give him right now, or if he's letting Beers burn up his tires. Same with Bonsignor, and this race 117 laps in could look a lot different on lap number 147. That's only 30 laps from now.
It's time to push your chips all into the middle of the table if you're not running in the top 3. Matt Hirschman is 3rd. He's beginning to lose touch now with the lead duo. As a matter of fact, there's a full court press on his back bumper right now. They are beginning to stack up behind Matt Hirschman for the number 3 spot. Someone is there.
Someone is choking out that 60 car. It is tightened up through turns number 1 and 2, and Patrick Emmerling is right there, ready to fight on the inside. Car number 1, so close to the win 1 year ago. Off just a little bit. He could use a late restart if we actually bunch up again. But this race started to take on a green flag feel. Everybody chases Austin Beers. Again, 6 races, 6 different winners. The record is 7. We could tie that tonight. It goes back to when we were living La Vida Loca in 1999. A record that has stood for 26 years. We could tie it here in the next 15 minutes if we stay green.
And Austin Beers trying to go 3 in a row here at Lancaster Motorplex, a track he knows oh so well. Jerry Cook, a NASCAR Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever drive a race car of any kind, let alone a modified. What is it about a driver when they just kind of have a hookup to a specific racetrack, like you did at Martinsville?
Well, that's it. When you got something that works, you want to use it. And of course it helped me other places, but Martinsville, it really helped me a lot, because I was able to make that car run around the corner and be aimed straight down the straightaway, and it paid off for me more than quite a few times. So, but what some of these guys are now, it's the last end of this race, it's time to go. You can wait and try and wear somebody out, but there's not enough time here to do it. So I think they're all running as fast as they can.
You know, Jerry, I mentioned Matt Hirschman might be backing off just a little bit, playing a little possum. Little George Jones reference, but it looks like he has his hands full with that race car, and everyone is just holding on right now. If there is a late race caution, this race could change complexion, but we might see it play out the way that they're running right now, and that certainly plays into Austin Beers. Beers, who again comes into this race the 2-time defending champion. The road to this victory would have to go through car number 54. And Eric Beers, his dad, having so many laps on this surface, and the Beers family being synonymous with success in the modifieds, especially here at Lancaster, it's almost fitting that this would be the track that he is akin to you with Martinsville, where he's just figured a way around it, and his winning percentage is absolutely through the roof. His average finish would be 1. I mean, we would try to figure it in like 1, 2, maybe finish 3rd. Nope. 2 wins in 2 years.
He's going to be an interesting onlooker, and you're going to want to see when the 2026 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour schedule comes out. He's hoping we race here at Lancaster 6 times next year, as good as he's got a rhythm around this racetrack. But I got to tell you, don't take the hats to victory lane just yet. Justin Bonsignor is matching him stride for stride. I'm not so sure Justin Bonsignor is being just a wily veteran right now, just saving his tires and wait for the right moment to make the pass, kind of like what we see with Patrick Emmerling right now.
They're going to bump tires off of turn number 4. Emmerling give him the advantage, and now Kyle Bonsignor takes a shot at 60. Matt Hirschman. Hirschman comes down to the PD Motorsports number 60, hangs onto it right now. But Alex, back to your point about Justin Bonsignor. I saw him drift wide over turn number 2. I don't think the car's getting away from him. I think he's just searching for different lines. and that is the true mark of a 4-time champion with 46 wins. And a number, we don't keep track of his second place finishes. I mean, we could look that up, but the point is, no one really talks about second place, and he doesn't want to finish there. So he's going to try to find his way to win number 47. How do I get there? I try to find different lines. I can't beat him this way, so let me try to beat him another. He lost a couple of car lengths there, and now trails about 5 down the back straightaway as they get around John Michael Chenette.
Yeah, lap traffic is coming into play here. Which of the two drivers are going to be the ones to make their way through better? It looks like Patrick Emmerling's the one that's negotiating traffic exceptionally well as the race leaders work off turn 2. Close quarters there. Now Beers and Bonsignor and Emmerling close in on each other. Emmerling may have the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Someone just pressed the button in Mr. Burns' office, and Mr. Burns said, release the hounds, because here comes Patrick Emmerling. Car number 1 has narrowed the gap down to 2 between himself and second place Justin Bonsignor. Much like the last race 1 year ago, his strongest run was in the final 20 laps. If this race were 155 laps last year, Patrick Emmerling would be the winner. He's going to get around a 4-time champ before. It is a rematch of what happened last year between the 64 and the 1. They'll go after it. Now Emmerling's going to swing wide off of turn number 4.
Gives Justin Bonsignor a look there, not quite able to get the car to stick. Tucks back in, thought about doing the crossover, but the wily veteran Justin Bonsignor is up to the task. He'll hang on to the number 2 spot while they're fighting for this runner-up position. That's enabling Austin Beers to ride off into the western New York sunset. He's opened up the lead now to 3, closing in on 4 to 5 car lengths now.
He needs to run while he can, even though the rotors are glowing on Patrick Emmerling's Fleetwood number 1. If he gets by Justin Bonsignor, he'll have 12 laps to move in. And here's his best shot. Rocketing to spot number 2. Give it to Patrick Emmerling. The car sticks, and now he's trying to hunt down the leader.
Boy, Justin Bonsignor realized that Emmerling was just a faster car, and he's showing it on the racetrack. Emmerling gets by Bonsignor, and in 1/2 mile, 1 lap, he's now gapped Bonsignor by 2 car lengths, and he has cast his line, set the hook on the back bumper of the Austin Beers car, and he is absolutely reeling in the race leader.
10 laps to go from Sean Houlihan, and I think that was a champion's move from Justin Bonsignor. Yes, his car was starting to go away, but he's going to play defense too. He can't have Austin Beers get that winner's bonus when it comes to the points. Remember, they came into the race separated by a single point. If Emmerling gets by Beers, then Beers doesn't get the bonus points. He might lead the most laps. He's already going to get a point for leading a lap as they try to go around Tyler Berry, and Austin Beers catches Berry in the worst possible place. Meanwhile, Patrick Emmerling dusts him off down the back straightaway. Advantage, car number 1. He has clear sailing between himself and Austin Beers with a number of laps to go.
Just 8 circuits remain in the New Way Auto Parts 150. Austin Beers running for his life. You've got Patrick Emmerling trying to chase him down. He's quick. He'll chop off a car length, does Emmerling, when they go to turn 3.
Something going away on the Justin Bonsignor car. He'll drift wide off of turn number 4. You saw him just sawing the wheel with those white gloves. Matt Hirschman gets by. Give position number 3 to car number 60. Bonsignor just trying to hang on for dear life here in the New Way Auto Parts 150. Back to the leaders. Nothing has changed. It's still 64 and 1, single file. But Patrick Emmerling continues to creep in just a little bit.
Doesn't look like there's any lap traffic on the horizon, as we're going to have 5 laps to go next time by.
Alex, he closed big time in turn 3 that time.
He charges the corner much more than Austin Beers does. Beers gets a good launch off of the corner. 2 different handling race cars. We'll find out what happens as they race their way down the backstretch.
How about further on back in the pack, you have Justin Bonsignor losing a little bit of ground to Kyle. Kyle moves up inside the top 5. Meanwhile, back up in front, the separation is 2 car lengths and Patrick Emmerling. This is exactly what happened 1 year ago. They were battling standing water on the racetrack. They have battled weather all day. They came down to these two drivers who are now on a dry racetrack battling just themselves. And within a matter of moments, 3 laps to go, either Patrick Emmerling or Austin Beers have a great shot of going to the win. It's not a guarantee because who knows what's going to happen here in the final minutes.
Making their way down the backstretch into turn 3. The gap, as you see, a car length and a half, maybe 2. Austin Beers now, 2 circuits to go. 1 mile to try to three-peat in the New Way Auto Parts 150.
That was a really good lap for car number 64, who came into this race 1 point out of the point lead. We had 6 different winners to start the 2025 race season. 7 races now. And the 7th winner of the year is 1 lap away from doing it. He just may take the point lead. We will now tie the record for the most amount of winners to start a start a season for the Whelen Modified Tour. Austin Beers is your winner.
Austin Beers goes 3 consecutive at Lancaster Motorplex. Austin Beers picks up the win in the New Way Auto Parts 150. Coming home in the 2nd spot, just like 1 year ago, is Patrick Emmerling. Looks like Matt Hirschman was able to survive. He'll hang on. He'll finish in the number 3 position. Kyle Bonsignor came home in the number 4 spot. What a drive for Austin Beers and Jerry Cook. The young man is now 3 times a winner here at Lancaster, 4 overall in his career on tour.
Got this place figured out because he was right on the money the whole way.
And he didn't panic. There was that one part where Patrick Emmerling closed to within 2 car lengths, and I thought this could be over for Austin Beers. And Emmerling was going to be able to make the move. But he had that one magical lap, and it was lap number 148 where he put a little gap between himself and the rest of the pack and becomes the 7 different winner, tying the record we set in 1999. And he was still 3 years from being on this earth. Speaking of Austin Beers, born in 2002.
And it's not too soon to start thinking, will we make history next week on a doubleheader weekend? Will we have a new record for most different winners to start a season? The field is deep in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour this season.
Well, Monadnock, which is where we'll be next week with JDV Productions for the Duel with the Dog and the Cheshire County race, both Saturday and Sunday, it favors new winners. Last year, Tommy Catalano broke through for the first time. Jake Johnson broke through for the first time. Could we see Steven Kopsick break through for the first time on a quarter mile? He's been excellent on quarter mile races or racetracks this year. So look for the 21 to be strong on the high banks next Saturday and next Sunday in the New Way 150, which is what we wrap up here at Lancaster tonight.
What a drive tonight. Good pit strategy yet again. And boy, Austin Beers, there's just something about this racetrack that he has taken to so doggone well as he's celebrating now his 3rd consecutive win here at the Lancaster Motorplex. Second again was Patrick Emmerling. Late charge came up just short. And Matt Hirschman came across the stripe and finished tonight's race in the 3rd position.
What an excellent race. We had a little bit of everything. We had some domination. We had some amazing side-by-side racing. We had some drivers mix it up as well. And big smiles from Austin Beers, who was one of the biggest smilers in the pits this afternoon, as he knew the road to this was going to be through him. Let's go down trackside to Jesse Punch.
And for the 3rd year in a row, Austin Beers is your winner tonight in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour here at Lancaster Motorplex, getting his first win of the season for this 64 team and celebrating with his crew right here on pit road. That A-team elated to finally get one done this year after having so many strong runs. And speaking of strong runs, Austin, you knew that you were going to be strong here coming off of 2 wins, but you told me before the race this was the least confident that you've been going into a race here. Starting 9th, you still got it done. How did you get it done tonight?
I have no idea. When that caution came with 49 to go, and Patrick was kind of pushing me around the racetrack at that point, I'm like, man, we got no shot, but wow, I'm wore out. That was I was on the edge every single lap, just trying not to give up anything. And, you have the best in the business behind you. You have Justin Bonsignor, you have Patrick Emmerling, Matt was there too. Oh, my God, I just can't believe it. So thankful to get it, the 3-peat. I was kind of tired here. Well, you're back-to-back, yeah, and put a lot of pressure on me, but now 3-peat's pretty damn cool.
Well, you're now the 7th winner this season, making some history here, the Whelen Modified Tour. How do you describe the talent we're seeing right now in the Tour and the parity within all of the challenges and the drivers?
Oh, it's incredible. It just shows how tough this Tour is. And there's 6 other guys that can still win. You got Kopsick, you got both the Catalanos, just Ripkema. Just a lot of guys that can still win here, and obviously Luke's been really fast for how young he is, and he's doing a great job. But I'm just so thankful we got Murph back here, our car owner. It's our first win back since all this treatment, but it just means a lot to get another win here at Lancaster. I love this place.
Plenty of winning talent, championship talent, but Austin Beers is the one out front tonight, getting his first win of the season in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. That makes 7 races, 7 different winners this year.
It is absolute magic to see those drivers or see that team embrace each other. And the 3rd straight win, building a dynasty in real time. Again, excellence is rarely appreciated in its moment. And you're watching a young star really rise to the occasion in consecutive years. 1 year it can happen. 2 years could be a coincidence. 3rd year, it's a trend. Austin Beers, this is his house now, much like Martinsville was Jerry's house.
Yeah, speaking of excellence, it was a privilege to have you as a part of the broadcast here on Flow tonight at arguably your home racetrack. I know you say Martinsville is it because of the success, but welcome home here to Lancaster, and thanks so much for being a part of our show.
Yeah, Lancaster was close to my first home, and this race was outstanding. You couldn't pick the winner till the checkered flag fell because they were so close that anything could happen. Anything could happen. So,
Jerry, you watched what we saw here tonight. What did you think of the Austin Beers performance?
Oh, outstanding. I've watched him for the last couple of years, and I think his time is coming around, where he's going to start winning more than just here.
Jerry, thanks so very much again for being a part of it. It's a true privilege to spend time with you yet again. All the best to you.
Oh, it's nice. I'm enjoying this all the way, so.
We have a number of different contingency awards here at 2025. One of them being Hoosier Tire, the fastest qualifier award. And there's also a set of tires going to somebody. Let's send it down trackside to Jesse Punch with today's award.
That's right, guys. One of the drivers that didn't win tonight's race is going home with a set of Hoosier tires, but our winner is going to decide who it is. Austin, go ahead and draw one of those numbers, and we'll see what finishing position will be going home with a set of Hoosier tires. Number 13, our 13th place finisher, Trevor Catalano, is your Hoosier tire drawing winner tonight. Thanks, Austin.
Thanks very much, Jesse. Great job from here tonight with all the different pit stops and talking to Austin Beers and getting that raw emotion. And that's something that we see here in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour every single week, whether it's a first-time winner. Justin Bonsignor, when he's won 46 races, but it still at times feels like it might be his first win when he gets out of there, because Jerry can say, you never know when your last win's coming.
No,
right?
Absolutely right about that. Big night of racing. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in here on Flow, for being a part of it here in person at Lancaster Motorplex. What a drive it was for second place. Patrick Emmerling came up just short again, and Jesse Punch is with him.
Second year in a row, Patrick coming home in second to that 64, but not without so much effort. We saw you taking it to him in those final laps. What more did you need?
Yeah, that was. This is one we really, really wanted to win, home track, and yeah, I think we were the car to beat, and we just got moved up a little bit. We were on the unpreferred lane on that start. That was a little bit of an inopportune caution, and then we just got freight trained, stuck up top there, and by the time I was able to work back by 60-51. We were just a little bit too used up at that point, and we just couldn't. We could get to the 64, but we just right at the end, we just had to use up a little bit too much, just getting around them other two cars. They were rolling pretty good, and it was just a really inopportune restart. I thought we had the car to beat today. It was just that one. Second place. It's usually a pretty decent run, but this one, this second, we are a little bit disappointed with that one. But I just thought we had the car to beat, and this is one that I wanted just so bad, and. But runner-up 2 days in a row. I just got to thank everyone involved to put this race on. Janarski and the Nurmies and Mikey Myers and everyone. It's just so fortunate to have a Whelen Modified Tour race at our home track.
Thanks, Patrick. That's Patrick Emmerling, your runner-up finisher here tonight at Lancaster.
Thank you very much, Jesse. And boy, there's going to be a little salt in the wound in that one too. You're celebrating the winner of the race. Fireworks are going off, and you talk about a race that you wanted to win so badly. But Patrick Emmerling, what a great rebound night for that team. The Fleetwood Works Incorporated #1 back in the championship fight. It's been a wild night of racing, and it looks like we're ready to go down to Jesse Punch with our third-place competitor, Matt Hirschman.
Matt Hirschman brings it home in third place tonight. Matt, take me through your run. Are you satisfied with what you guys were able to do here this evening?
No, I would have liked to have won. I would be only satisfied completely with that, but it's not a bad run. I mean, I think the 1 at times was the best car, 64 late. 51 was kind of similar to us, but he did back up a little more than we did at the end. We got back to third, so certainly not a bad car, but not quite a winning car. I mean, started out the race and led some laps, but the 1 was right there the whole time, so we're pretty equal, and he had the better long-run car. So a little bit better on the long run we could have been, and you know, that's about it. It's not a bad night, but not a winning performance. So just thank the whole team, PD Motorsports. Guys did a good job. Just got to work on it a little bit more for next time.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Third place finish tonight for Matt Hirschman in that 60 team.
It really was. What a solid drive for Matt Hirschman, but I agree. I don't think I've ever met a race car driver that's ever been happy without winning a race. And even sometimes when they win, they're not happy with their race cars. But as they say, there's always a 1/10 of a second out there somewhere. Comes up just a bit short tonight after starting tonight's race from pole position. But it's all about Austin Beers here tonight.
You know, it's upcoming, and Austin Beers is hitting it at the right time. 3 big races in 8 days, and he does well at Monadnock Speedway. JDV Productions putting on the next 2 events, the Duel at the Dog, also the Cheshire County race as well, next Saturday and Sunday. Get tickets for this event. Beers came from 17th to 2nd last year. He can pass cars on the quarter-mile track. Look for him to be strong and vault himself into, well, he just may take away the point lead tonight. Then they're back at one of the series hubs, Thompson Motorsports Park, on August the 6th. Then the big track where he broke through for the very first time. This is an Austin Beers schedule. Richmond, he won there. It was his first win, August the 14th. Oswego Speedway, wrapping up the summer before Labor Day weekend, August 30th. Riverhead, back there on September 6th. And then the big track, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, on September 20th. Look at that trophy. You know, we talked about the grandfather clock a lot tonight, but winning a gas can doesn't look as good in the living room.
But that is actually one of the real NASCAR Cup Series gas cans that were made down at the place that builds them down just south of Daytona Beach, Florida. They have that custom made, add the New Way Auto Parts logo on it, get it painted perfectly. It is a one-of-a-kind type of trophy. Very cool, and it's something that everybody wants. And now I guess everybody in the Austin Beers family is starting to collect gas cans.
It's awesome. It's true, though. It has been an amazing night here, New Way Auto Parts, with all of the different stars who came out to play in the blistering heat. There's Justin Bonsignor, who had a great run. There's Kyle Bonsignor. Tough night for Trevor Catalano, Craig Lutz. There's Ryan Newman. But when it was all said and done, it was Austin Beers becoming the 7th different winner in 7 races for 2025. On behalf of Alex Hayden, my name's Andy Austin. Have yourself a great night.
May not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.